Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We are here. We are a little bit late, but nonetheless, we're here. If you go off the usual start time, we're actually early. So we're going, you just gotta, everything is about your perspective, everything is about your views, so to say. So nonetheless, we are here. It is week 8. It is October 29th, which means we are 2 days away from Halloween, which means we are going to have a lot of tricks and a lot of treats. But views from the 22 live on the scene is always a treat. You got the crown holder, MJ, here, scout extraordinaire, Vic Jr. here. Germ is somewhere coming. We are not sure when, but when you hear that glass break, just know Jeremy is somewhere around. While I share the link, Vic Jr., MJ, how we doing, baby?
Vic first.
Good, man. Everything's good. Can't complain. Sunday. That means the day of some relaxation, cooking, and some football. Eating some good food with the family and some football. It's been a crazy ride, man. It's week 8 already. Again, the seasons go by real fast, man. So we gotta appreciate every single week. And listen, my record is like trash right now. I think I'm like below 500 picking these games, and that's just football for you, man. Last week was pretty crazy. So it's been good drama. It's been good drama.
MJ, talk to the people, baby.
I mean, in the world of craziness, so if unsteady economy, don't know if your parlay's going to hit, NFL all over the place. Let me just take the time to give the flowers to Arizona Iced Tea, who is 99 cents at all times. Never switch up on anybody. And I think this, which is why it's my background right now. Now, Arizona is not paying us yet, but I shout them out because at any given moment, they could have raised it up to $1.29, $1.49, $1.69. No, they kept it at 99 cents. And that type of solid needs to be appreciated and recognized. Protect Arizona tea at all costs.
The best part of Arizona tea is it's actually not that bad.
It's good. It's solid.
It's really like it's a solid beverage. Now I know Vic. As soon as we get off the air, it's gonna be like, Mosef, how can you drink those processed sugars? But nonetheless, I'm not saying I drink it on a regular basis, Vic. It's not like if I walk in to a store, I'm gonna go pick up the Arizona automatically. However, they got this new, I don't even know what it's called, okay? I just know it's got, one of them has Captain America on it, one of them has Thor on it. It's an Arizona energy drink of some sort. Matter of fact, we're going to look it up right now. Like I said, they're not sponsoring us.
And while you're looking it up, just understand that what I'm holding right now is now $5.99 for a 24-pack. And this is what we need.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like, I get the process thing, but some people that's down on their luck, they can rely on Arizona Iced Tea.
Yes.
And you always got to, never forget where you came from. Never forget people who aren't as privileged.
Before I became this health and exercise enthusiast.
Okay.
I got my fixing on some Arizona drinks every now and then back in the day. So
okay,
I know exactly the grape aid and the fruit punch and all the iced teas and peach. I was on there, so I get it. I get it.
So I think you're gonna like it. Go ahead, MJ. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I think Vic might approve of this one. So it's called Super Elixir. It's LXR, but I'm assuming they're going with the play on words, Elixir. Yeah. Hero Hydration. Okay, they got 4 flavors, Vic. They got the peach mango, fire. They got the citrus lemon lime, not my tea, so not my cup of tea, but it's not bad. The acai blueberry, fire, and the dragon fruit watermelon, fire. Okay. You got 15 calories, okay? no, 30 calories in a can, 20 grams of carbs, only 2 grams of sugar.
Okay.
Okay, so that's not bad. And then you got all the vitamins. Now, I didn't look at the ingredients, but I'm sure they got the aspartame and the sucralose and whatever for something to be that good and only have that much grams of sugar. Because it's got 14 grams of alcohol sugar, which your body just processes it a little differently.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Vic, if you see it, it comes in a little bottle, and they have Thor, Spider-Man, Hulk, and maybe Iron Man or Captain America. One of them. But it's good. It's good.
So hold on. But hold on. Say that word again. The E word that you said.
Alexa?
Alexa?
Say, MJ, say it again.
Alexa.
Elixir, yeah. It's supposed to be a medicinal potion.
Am I saying it wrong?
I think you said Alexa or something like that. You must be that.
Okay, so all of a sudden, you gonna make fun of me for my accent? All of a sudden, okay?
I thought you would know what an elixir is. It's supposed to be a medicinal potion. It's supposed to be, something for Pokemon. I thought you were a Pokemon fan. You know what I mean?
Back in the day, it's probably been like 20 years since I've seen Pokemon.
Yeah. I almost said something that got us kicked off.
See, I got like 3 things in my mind that's like,
No, almost. Vic, it's too early for this.
Way too early.
Yeah, my bad.
No, it's all right. I'm fresh off a Halloween party, so I'm bad ignorant right now.
Why are we on the energy drinks? Again, none of them sponsoring us.
None.
But I've stopped drinking the other ones. Okay, like the popular ones, the Red Bulls, the Rock Stars, all that. Monster. Yeah. I haven't had Monster in like probably 8 years, bro. Monster was probably the worst of them all for me. But the new kick come on is, again, we're not being sponsored by none of these people. So maybe that's is a good thing. It's called Zoa.
Okay.
And it's from The Rock, actually. Now, I didn't know it was from The Rock. I picked it up. I was like, yo, what is this? Tried it, looked it up. I was like, oh, this is The Rock's drink.
Mm-hmm.
Which explains the the island little graphics here on it. But Vic, this is the one, Vic.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one, Vic. There's no sugar, no fat, a lot of good stuff in there. Obviously, again, as always, they're gonna have the sugar substitutes to get something like this. But nonetheless, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This is the one energy drink that I don't crash on. So I no longer drink energy drinks. It's just this. I have one in the morning, and it's actually even reduced the amount of coffee I drink. But
nice.
So
yeah,
who's what is the name again?
Zoa.
Yeah. The Rock is serious about his stuff, man.
Yeah. See, look at that. They won't even let me show it. There we go. Whatever, y'all.
I think I've seen that can. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Like I said, by the way, the only time I reference Pokemon is when I tell someone from the opposite gender, let me peek at you. That's it. That's the only time I use.
I like it. I like it.
Oh my God, yo. All right, let's see what's going on in the comment section as Germ So True gets settled in.
I'm sorry, we ventured off, y'all. I know y'all really want y'all parlay. But we just gotta sometimes show our range. Like in a world where everyone only talks about relationships and racism and all the other stuff, sometimes you gotta talk about energy drinks. Let me see the range.
Absolutely.
And I'm on that Celsius, by the way. Like it's 2 in the fridge right now. So
Celsius.
Celsius go hard.
Yes. What's crazy is the Celsius really should be the energy drink that I'm promoting, because I got a family member of mine who's a distributor in the Virgin Islands for Celsius, but they'll be all right.
Okay. Hey,
And eventually, I'm gonna be the
whoever
distributor for
he is,
Zoa.
for you. Whoever he is, I'm riding for you. I got 2 of them in the fridge right now. I'm riding for you, bro.
My uncle, actually.
Hey, shout out Unc with the Celsius plug. I expect the 12K.
Big Shot in there. What's up, Big Shot?
Yeah,
Trav, First Lady.
Hey, how is Big Shot on
Victorino.
I don't know because he came from a Morehouse Spelman shindig and not to put his business out there, but I know
Yeah. Oh my God, yo. All right, Jern, you there? Vic, where did Vic go? We're gonna get started. So obviously the trade deadline is 2 days away. And tomorrow we want to do something where we'll talk a lot more about the trade deadline, Vic. But again, let's talk about a trade that happened earlier this week. The Eagles, we talked about them last week on the show. We talk about them every week, Vic. And the one thing we talked about was just how much space is available in the middle of that defense. And we talked about the fact that they might be hunting for a safety and that they need somebody. Well, they went out and got that somebody. You know, like they didn't go and get somebody. They went and got that somebody. You know, or they didn't go and get anybody. They went and got somebody. And that somebody is Kevin Byard of the Tennessee Titans, who's probably been Tennessee's most consistent player on defense for the past decade. He's been a staple. He's been a leader. He's been a coach on the field for this defense. And now he's in Philadelphia. So, Vic, I don't know if you want me to go first, but I'm curious from your perspective what you think this move does for the Eagles, not just the defense, but their team as a whole.
No, I mean, like you said, I mean, this is a dude that's been around for a while. If I'm not mistaken, 2016. So this is an 8-year veteran, probably 7, 8 years already in the league. Somebody that, again, for me, I've seen him play over at center field, over the top. I've seen him play in the box. I mean, this is a dude that has gotten over 100 tackles a season, I think about 3 times. So, you know, just looking over his stats and stuff like that. 4 or 5 interception seasons. So, I mean, this is a dude that, like you said, it's just not any safety because, you know, there's a bunch of safeties out there, but there's guys that have an impact and can make a defense better. And Kevin is definitely one of those guys. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how the Eagles use him, and whether he's going to be in the box more and stuff like that. But I mean, this is a great veteran pickup, a captain of captain kind of mentality that you get from Byard and stuff like that. So I mean, for sure, the Eagles knew they must have heard us talking about it because the Eagles knew that the defense has some weaknesses up the middle, and immediately after having that discussion, the trade news breaks. So that should be a good pickup for them.
So I think, and I'm gonna say something, and then I'm gonna toss it to MJ. Again, we talked about how much space is in the middle of that Eagles defense. Like you just game after game, time after time. It's the reason they lost to Kansas City. You know, like there's so much real estate available. It's insane. And then if you get a team who's able to establish a run or at least establish the threat of the run, then that space opens up even more because these linebackers have such a hard time reading, reacting, dropping, getting to a certain level. So you bring in Byard, who, yes, he's a safety, but in a big dime situation, in a big nickel situation, he's going to be that extra player down in the box. Mm-hmm. In a base formation, he's going to be the 8th player in that box. So you have a player now who you can either put in the middle of you want to run cover 1, he can be that robber. You want to play cover 3, he can come be in the underneath. You want to play the cover 2, you can have him in certain situations in a cover 2, Vic, play the Tampa role, right, and be the linebacker who just drops to the middle of the field. So from an X's and O's perspective, you just got a guy who you can move all over the chalkboard.
Yeah.
And that's a major key.
And again, when you look at his stats, there's seasons where he has 111 tackles, 1 interception. So maybe he was used in the box more often. Then he has other seasons where he has 84 tackles but 5 interceptions. Maybe he was used out in center field a little bit more often. So, again, this is a well-rounded dude, for that defense. It should be a great addition, and I'm sure Germ knows a lot about the secondary overall. So, I know he's a Bayer fan. So, I'm
just wondering if at this point is Tennessee the minor league team of Philly, because y'all just keep like hooking them up. Like I'm still trying to figure out the AJ Brown thing.
Yeah.
And then as I'm just not getting over that, now y'all do this. So it's just like, why don't y'all just give Derrick Henry too? Why not? Just throw him in for why not?
Apparently they took him off the board. Off the trading block. So we'll see.
Apparently what?
Apparently he was taken off the trading block yesterday. So
he's not. So well, that was kind of going to be my transition here, but on Derrick Henry, he's not off the trading block. He's never been on the trading block. Titans just taking phone calls. You want to call? We're going to listen. MJ, we've noticed over the years, certain GMs just have a knack for finding the right trade partner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. From a business perspective, and then we're gonna have Germ chime in as soon as Germ's brain starts warming up a little bit. From a business perspective, what is it that makes certain GMs make a phone call and have the phone call end their way, whereas other GMs are just constantly falling short when it comes to making the right deal?
I think it's relationships. I think that's the most important thing. And any negotiation at this level, any level, but really at this level, you want it to always be a win-win. Always. So I don't know the GM personally in Philly, but he strikes me as a type to be like, okay, what is it that you are looking for out of your guys this season? Are you looking to rebuild? Are you looking for a piece? What type of draft picks are you looking for? And then you come to a medium on negotiation. That's the art of negotiation. And then I think there's just some people who overvalue their assets, even though their assets is not leading to wins. I think the biggest ball drop for any GM in any sport is you're valuing a player over a win. So there are players that can produce, but it may not help you win. If that is the case, you have to make the decisions and move forward from there. Now, if this player is helping you win, and obviously the value increase, but you guys are just not winning because you need more pieces, then the value increasing, you move from there as well. Or you just consistently try to build around them. And I think that's where everybody really, to me, is dropping the ball from a business standpoint. It's really not as hard or as complicated as people make it. It's just, you got to know how to talk to people, how to relate to people, and how to make a deal a win-win.
Mm-hmm. So, I also think, and John, I'm gonna go past you after this. I also think it's a relationships are, you touch on relationships. Like, well, no matter what business you're in the business of people, no matter what it is, And so I also think job security plays a role in this as well, because you got a situation in Tennessee where the front office is relatively solidified for the next 3 to 5 years, mainly because it's a newer regime. You got Howie, who's as stable as they are in the NFL. And so when you look around the league, the Howie Rosemans, the Bill Belichick's, the Seahawks, the Chiefs, wherever Sean Payton is, even Mike McCarthy, to a certain extent, I'm gonna take him off the list. I retract my statement. Okay. But I think one reason you see these certain guys are always able to make certain deals that other teams can't make is because the future, in the future, you're gonna have another phone call with this person. So it's like, hey, right now I could give you this 4th and 6th round pick, okay? But call me on draft day, and I'll throw something your way, And that happens. That happens all the time in business. Like, okay, listen, I can give you this now, but I'm gonna be here. So check with me a little later, and I'll give you a little something for what you did for me here today. Yeah. And I think you see that a lot with Howie and Bill and just guys across the league. And so, like, give credit to Howie, man. He's pulled off 2 deals in back-to-back years that are locker room changers.
Yeah,
on and off the field. Germ, good morning, my brother.
Good morning.
How you feeling?
Another day in the life of a general manager. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
So that being
Talk
said,
to me now.
Here's the beautiful thing. I think we missed one key thing for entrepreneurial people out there too. And I think the one thing that it is there's no idea that is not going to be explored or sought after.
Oh, absolutely.
The innovation of Howie is probably the biggest part of why he's been successful as a general manager. I have to make sure that I have to say the innovation part is probably the key to it as well, because it's about being able to have a vision, but then execute your vision and not let, just because you want an Aaron Donald, maybe we can find a cheaper version, a guy who may not be as productive, but a guy who gives me the Aaron Donald effect from a down to down basis. It's about finding value. When you go to Walmart and you go and you search for a certain brand of bratwurst, well, they got a great value brand too. The great value brand just happens to be Walmart's brand. So if you grab the great value brand, it's a straight profit item. It costs you less money. And on top of it costs you less money. It still gives you the same effect if you know what you're doing on that grill or in the kitchen in general. That's what being a general manager is all about. That's what the innovation of an entrepreneurial being an entrepreneur is about. It's about making the most of what you have, and then when you get the big pieces, you expand with the big pieces. But the foundation of that organization is already set. You got Fletch, you got guys like, you got your quarterback, you got your tackle, you got your pass rushers, which it may not be one in particular guy, but it's a couple of guys. Mm-hmm. It is really one of them situations where that Eagles team, just in general, to add a locker room guy like Bayer, I love his work. Like, I'm a fan of the work. The work is the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the way that he works. When you need a guy to single high, he can play single high. We don't have a lot of guys in the gym, and me and Vic talk about this every year. The fact that single high is so hard to play in this NFL is because of discipline. These young kids do not have the discipline to be able to sit there, wait, and be able to read and diagnose what is going on in front of them and then react. Because the first step for a safety is never going forward. It's always backwards. It's always back. The fundamentals of the position, that this guy is the epitome of it. And like I said, I'm a huge fan of the deal in general, because you get a great player, but on top of getting that great player that you got, you also show that you're trying to solidify not only a good defense, but turning your good defense into a great one. So I'm with it. I like it. Again, I still think you need a linebacker. I still think you could use one, especially because the linebacker is more important against the run. They're really a dominant run-stopping linebacker or a solid run linebacker away from being pretty much, hey, you got to pick your poison. Are we going to try to throw it? You want to try to throw it against this front, or you want to try to run it? Which one you want?
Well, they took that away, and the last time y'all said what they needed, they wouldn't got it. So
this is true. This is true. This is true.
He's an aggressive.
Tennessee, you want to give up the linebacker too? At this point, might as well. 2-for-1 special. Why not?
Hey, you want to know something funny? Tennessee actually probably does have a linebacker.
No, they do. You know what? Get Derrick Henry and put him at linebacker. Why not? Let him do some hitting.
Oh my God.
Hey, listen. At 6'4", 270 pounds.
That's
Put
scary.
him at DN. Put him at DN.
Yeah.
That's Julius Pepper's nephew now.
All right, before we jump into the games, a couple other names being tossed around. I'm gonna just throw them out. You fellas, just jump in as you wish. For the Broncos, Justin Simmons and Patrick Surtain are two names also being thrown out there. Talked about Cortland and Jerry. If Denver wins today, they're not going to win today. But if they win today, or if they at least are competitive today, I think all that is out the window. Like if Denver comes out with a solid performance against Kansas City, I think everything goes out the window in terms of who they'll trade and who they want to trade. Flip side, a team that has said if they play well today, they won't trade. But if they lose today, they're going to trade.
Mo,
That is
unless Waffle House has a field, they're not winning, bro. Are you kidding me?
Hey,
we ain't even on picks yet. Let's just end that right now.
Listen.
Hey, I will not show up next week if they win.
Bro.
I will take a bye week. I'll take a bye week.
Any given Sunday, baby, you never know.
I know that.
You never know. And it's a division game.
Yeah,
you never
I know
know.
that. That's why I'm willing to take a bye week for this.
Okay. All right.
Let me say this real quick.
Go ahead, bro.
About the Patrick Surtain news, we talked about that briefly last week, and I told you guys last week. I don't know why. I personally, I don't get it. Whatever. That's the internet. As far as Justin Simmons goes, I'm going to be honest when I say this.
Okay.
That's a foundational piece that you keep with a rookie quarterback that you're potentially going to be going after. Let me say it again. That's a foundational piece that you keep if you know you're going to get a rookie quarterback. Because his money don't mean nothing to you for the next 5 years if you get a rookie quarterback. Why is that important? Because foundational pieces, we talked about how big it is and how important it is for us to look to win in our 5-year window of our quarterback rookie contract. That's the time for you to build this defense, get it back championship caliber by making a couple moves, and focus strictly on bringing in name brand free agents. But the first thing that they have to do is get a quarterback. Well, there's a couple quarterbacks that they'll have access to. What are we going to do? One actually plays in your state.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what they can do. They can go ahead and call Chicago Bears and trade because Chicago's going to mess around and have the number 1 and number 2 pick the way they plan.
Hey.
And
let's not discount Tyson Bagent or Bagent or whatever you say his name.
Listen to me very carefully. I'm discrediting him. I'm discounting him. I don't believe in him, and it's not his fault. It's not his fault.
It's the environment he's in.
Exactly. That's what it is. At some point, you have to.
Should we blame Jim McMahon?
Roses don't grow in cement, bro.
What about Rex Grossman?
Bring them all up. Sid Luckman is the only one that had any type of success.
So who's the quarterback, Jerm, you're referring to that plays in their state?
Deion's son.
Oh, okay. Okay. You're talking about the draft. Okay.
Yeah, Shedeur.
Because Vic, that's the whole point of the rookie quarterback, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to find ourselves somebody on a rookie deal for 5 years. We can groom and develop them. Sean Payton is probably going to be here for the long haul for at least 4 to 5 seasons.
Oh, so, at least.
It gives you the window you need for Sean to show or earn his keep.
So why Justin? My fault, MJ. Why Justin Simmons though?
Because I found. So, can we name 5 or 6 safeties better than Justin Simmons?
No,
fair. But so you're just talking about a piece of the foundation, like just He's a pillar of that foundation. They should keep along with
Yeah.
Surtain.
Yes. Yes.
Along with Patrick Surtain.
Yeah,
Yes. Both of them. Both of them. Because
Yeah.
again,
I was just
it
gonna
doesn't
argue for
matter.
Surtain.
Oh no. This is an argument for both of them, not just one. Because I think they go together.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that. I
think they go together. A great safety play is the foundation of is not the foundation. A great corner play is the foundation of a good secondary, but great safety play makes a great secondary.
Yeah, 100%. Like I think they should definitely shop one of their receivers, but there's no reason to give up any of their defensive stars.
Correct.
None.
I'm 150% agree. And because what is the hardest thing to do is to find what some of these guys are doing.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to find a lot of safeties that you're going to find in the next 5 years that can do everything that Justin can do.
No.
And then why are we getting rid of a guy that we invested such high draft capital in that's been very good for us over 2 years? This is not like the Dolphins making a fire sale on Minkah Fitzpatrick because they wanted to make some other moves and move some other players around because they wanted to change the locker room culture. That's not what this was. What the biggest change that the Denver Broncos need to make is at the helm.
Yep. It's the quarterback. The quarterback is the problem. This is what it is. The quarterback is the problem. It is what it is. Last trade rumors again. Tomorrow we're going to talk more in depth about some of these other things that we're hearing. I'm sure tomorrow you're going to have a lot more things come up. You might have a trade tomorrow. But
just the
Commanders,
we might have about 5 trades tomorrow if today goes a certain type of way.
That should be fun if it's true.
Right.
Shit, it happens.
Right. A lot of these trades are contingent on how some of these games play out today. Right. And one of those is the Commanders, who have listed Chase Young and Montez Sweat. Now, from the one hand, you're like, why would you give up any of these guys? Well, for one, you got some money coming up on them. And for two, Ron Rivera, he hasn't said this, but I know I could bet, I could parlay, okay, that he believes he can draft and develop a defensive line with value and not have to spend so many resources or not have to spend a high draft capital. He believes in his ability to draft and develop young defensive linemen. He's done it his entire career. So I could definitely see them getting rid of him. And then 2 names that got thrown out there, surprisingly, were Josh Allen for the Jaguars, Rashawn Gary for the Packers, and then a third name that was thrown out there was Brian Burns of the Carolina Panthers. So those are all 5 quality defensive linemen. They might all stay put. But for my money, I would expect at least one of them get moved come Tuesday.
I think that out of all of those guys' name, I think Brian Burns might be the one if I had a bet on it. Simply because they've been talking about it for over a year now, which is kind of crazy, considering how good he is, and he's still a young player. But the Panthers, I mean, right now they're 0-7, going on 0-8 probably today, against one of my favorite young teams in the Houston Texans. Yes. So, if I mean, listen, again, pass rusher is one of the most important positions in football. But if you're gonna, if you could get quality couple first and second round pick even for them, then it is what it is. Probably, try to just build off of extra draft picks after that. So if I had a bet, it'll probably be Brian Burns out of all those guys named first.
I'm gonna say
my bad.
One key thing. If your team, you're shopping for a pass rusher right now, that pass rusher better be the key. They better be the championship seal.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you're going to have to invest to get any of these guys is going to be multiple picks. But all of these guys are worth a first round draft choice.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. People might say, "Oh no, man, I don't think all of them. I don't think Chase Young is worth for." Let me explain something to y'all. Knee damage affects explosiveness,
Mm-hmm.
but also it takes a while for you to do what? Trust that knee.
That's a fact.
Tom Brady said that his first year back in 2009.
Yep.
I want
That's a
people to
great point.
understand. You have to understand that this guy has had some major low body injuries that potentially could be affecting the mental part of the game right now for him, which don't allow him to get back to being him. So you have to understand, if I'm Ron Rivera, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Ron Rivera. Y'all know how I feel about Ron and the Cam situation. But I'm going to be real with y'all. I wouldn't trade anybody on that line because you know what this looks like? This looks just like the 49ers all over again when they had the opportunity to keep DeForest Buckner and they kept Eric Armstead. And if you put DeForest Buckner with Javon Kinlaw right now, that would be disgusting.
Yeah. Oh, that. Yes.
It would be better than when it was with Eric. So all I'm trying to say is, do not put yourself in a situation where you overthink yourself. If you're Carolina, again, you just got your quarterback. Brian Burns is your pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you need? You need offensive line pieces and a couple more playmakers. And that is the key. Listen, there's no way I'm moving Brian Burns. I'm sorry. That's just the public service announcement. I am not moving Brian Burns. That's not happening. It wouldn't happen. If you called me and said, hey, Jeremy, I'm calling to acquire. Okay. Hello, GM of the Carolina Panthers. I want to inquire about Brian Burns. I mean, I know you guys are having a rough season. Unfortunately, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear it. I'll call you back. No. Like this is stupid. We're getting stupid here. We're starting to get a little stupid.
I'm not
And
moving
MJ,
Burns.
I love what you said too about cherishing the player more than wins. But but trading him is not going to win you any games because that's like the Khalil Mack effect. He can make one play that could win you a game.
Go ahead, MJ.
No, just to piggyback off Germ, it sounds like Germ is not moving Mr. Barnes, even if you throw in Smithers.
Hey,
that's a good point, right?
Oh my God!
Hey, real quick, I want everybody to see what MJ's logo says behind him. The great ball you motto. You know what I'm saying? Hungry, humble, hustle. That is the type of player that Brian Burns is.
Yeah.
So I just want you to make sure you understand. You don't trade players that are like that in this league because they are more valuable to your locker room.
There you go. And I think that part don't get discussed enough. This is a people game. This is a game played by humans, not robots. So how does a person act, whether they win, lose, struggling, doing great, got their money, waiting for their contract, matters. Because in any locker room, all it takes is just for one person to have some form of negativity for that shit to spread like COVID. It doesn't take nothing at all. That's why it's so difficult to have dynasties. Because after you win, you will think, yay, kumbaya, we all winning. No, after you win, that's when the business really begins, because it's like, well, I'm an asset to this organization. I think I should be compensated. I think I should get more of this, more of that, more of this, more of that. And you have to have that on the balance beam to the point where it's very simple for people to forget what got you there to win.
Oh, MJ. What do they say all the time about men and women? The opposite sex and money will tell you what they really are. Winning is a part of money.
Yeah.
Winning is a part of money. So, MJ, me and you can talk about this.
Oh yeah.
We've had the same energy toward each other from the struggle to whatever it is that we've been through. We and you have had extensive talks about this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Finance and all. And I can tell you the one thing is our energy never changed. We just elevated our mindsets and moved on from why me to why not me.
Exactly.
And that energy right there, bro, I need people to understand how powerful what he just said really is. Like that, it gave me chills, bro. It gave me chills, dog, for real.
Appreciate
You
it.
gotta
So
y'all gotta understand, bro. Winning is not conducive to what real life is all about because we're set up to lose.
Mhm.
You're going to lose 60% of the time in life.
That's real.
So know if you study, you are not going to be able to pass this class of life. You're going to fail. Listen, bro. I'm done teaching today.
Yeah.
Hey, what we doing in the classroom?
Right.
Bro, I'm tired, bro. Let's do this, man.
Let's do it.
Let's pick these games, man.
Let's
I'm
do
sorry,
it.
Vic,
Let's do it.
Vic, you got anything you want to say, bro? Mo, you got anything? I'm sorry, bro.
No,
No,
I'm just saying, like,
I'm waiting for y'all.
it's
Y'all got the
levels, bro.
floor.
Like, it's levels to this.
No,
Like,
y'all got the floor, baby.
I'm just listening.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, what they do in battle rap? Bring it back. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Stop playing.
Remix it.
All right. So we got some games on the schedule today. The best part is some of the games that you might say, they're gonna win are division games. And that's what makes this so intriguing. First game on the docket is an NFC East special. You got the Washington Commanders hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are 7-point road favorites. Over-under is 43.5. Off the bat, I'm taking the over. Why? Because the last game, both these teams had over, well, not both of them, but I think they went over 60 or 63, whatever it was, they went over. So
they went the last game, just from a betting perspective, the last game, the spread was 8.5 points for Philadelphia at home. And the Commanders had actually won the last couple of games at home. And the over-under was 42.5. And I picked the under, and they went over. So they just added, what you said, 40, you said 48, right?
43.5.
40. So they added 1 point.
1.5 point. Yeah, literally.
You add 1 point to this. And on top of adding 1 point, you added another you took 1 point away from them being favorites. I'm taking the under. I'm taking the spread part. Give me the spread part. Give me Washington with the points.
And
I'm taking the over with you.
Okay.
I'm taking the over with you.
I'm doing the same thing. I'm going over, and I'm going Washington with the points. The one thing that I'm going to be looking out for is the field goal to touchdown ratio. That's going to play a big part. I still think the Eagles will win. I still think the Eagles were going to come out strong and have a good game, but Washington's going to compete. Give me what Germ said. MJ?
Let me just say this. The over and under game is such a horrible game to play. It's stressful. I actually don't suggest that you even take that on as a gambler. Don't do it. Because it's too many variables that you're worried about. At a blink of an eye, you can go from, I'm about to get it to 990 more, a pick six, a fumble return for a touch. It's too many things that can happen for the over under. So if you absolutely have to stay away from it, do so. Now, with that being said, I will go ahead and take Philly. And I ain't taking over and under on nothing, but considering the fact that we just had this powwow about winning in locker room and how it's a human game, what happened last week with Washington? What did the guy do on national television with a do-rag on?
Jonathan Allen, he professed his hate for the situation he is currently in.
It could do one of them.
Why is he not on the trading block? Never mind. Never mind. Go ahead, Dan. I'm sorry.
Now, that could do one or two things. That can either fire up the locker room to be better, or maybe, just maybe, it has nothing to do with the players per se, but it's a top to bottom thing. Starting off early because it's a new coach, they're going through their leaps and bounds. It may not be a trust there just yet. I love Bieniemy. I think he's going to figure it out at some point. Hopefully they get that brother time. But as of right now, I don't think that locker room is together. And because of that, everything that you guys said from a football standpoint makes sense, but from a human standpoint, I got Philly with the points.
Yeah.
Love it. Vic?
Listen, so these teams played a game 4 weeks ago. I don't know if you remember. It was an overtime game 4 weeks ago, which ended up resulting in the Philly defense giving up 4 touchdowns.
Yes.
In that one game. And since then, the 3 games since then, they've only given up a total of 4 touchdowns since. And that's going up against Miami and the Rams, the Dolphins and the Rams. All right. They only gave up 4 total touchdowns in the last few weeks. So this defense is playing ridiculous right now. I'll be shocked if this game is as close as it was, even as a division game. I think that Eagles, our defense is better. Obviously, we talked about the addition of Kevin Byard. I'm sure he's all caught up already.
No doubt.
And look for A.J. Brown, man. He had 9 receptions for 175 yards and 2 touchdowns in that game. He's been on a ridiculous streak of over 100 yards the last 5 or 6 weeks. So look for A.J. Brown to continue to abuse that Washington defense that is really struggling right now, even that defensive line, man. So I'd be shocked if the Eagles let this game be close.
Okay. I think next game, Jacksonville at Pittsburgh. Over/under is 40.5. Jacksonville -2, which I think is a little disrespectful. I'm gonna be honest. So quite simply, I see my score. I'm gonna keep it simple. My score is 20-19. Okay, and the over/under is 40.5. Now, if you're gonna bet, I would stay away from it. I would. This is just my score because I'm not betting on the over/1.5. I do have a parlay for this one, MJ, and that is Jaylen Warren anytime touchdown score.
Okay.
Pittsburgh defense anytime touchdown score, and
Nice.
the Steelers with the money line. $10 gets you 300. Not
like
great, not bad.
Solid.
The Steelers. I've seen 2 games this year where it looks like the offense is putting it together, where it looks like the offense has structure, it has purpose, it has direction, and then the next week they flop. Last week, they looked structure, purpose, direction, execution. It was all there. They need to start being consistent with their offense. I'm going to go Steelers by a point. Vic?
Listen, I picked the Steelers to beat the Rams last week. They came out and played. They came out and did their thing. Another young team that I like. Again, just Kenny Pickett. Hopefully not too many Pickens out there. Okay, we put 2 names in one there on that bar, Jerm. Talk to me nice. Both of these kids are playing well together. So again, I think that the Steelers defense can give Trevor Lawrence a hard time. Trevor only has 5 touchdowns in the last 3 or 4 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. So the Jaguars offense is quite not living up to the expectations yet, even though Trevor is not, too bad statistically besides the touchdown. So I'm going to go with the Steelers again. They're at home this time. That defense, again, is just outstanding. They're kind of weak against the run, but the Jaguars are not great on the run either. So give me the Steelers to take another win today. Give me the Steelers.
I like it. Jerm?
Tough game to pick for me because I think the roller coaster of the Jacksonville Jaguars is, bro, we don't know what we're going to see week to week.
Yeah.
We don't know if we're going to see Trevor be sensational or Calvin Ridley run the best routes we've ever seen this week. So I don't know. But the one thing that is consistent is the Steelers defense plays pretty well. I think safety play is – I'm starting to see some things and some knocks with Trevor, and safety play is one of the keys. Pittsburgh has good safety play.
Yeah. Yep.
Give me Pittsburgh.
I'll say this because I'm staying with the theme of, looking at it from a human element because we are in week 8. Things get, you get, I've been doing this for this long and just, stuff starts to separate a little bit. Mike Tomlin has always been and will always be a leader of men.
Yes.
Always keeps them focused. He always keeps them believing. So because of that, that's why you always look up and he somewhat finds his way in the playoffs every season. So I think they hit a nice stride with Jacksonville. It's about football maturity, as Brian liked to eloquently put. Shouts out to Ryan. They're just trying to learn how to be that. Because, last year they snuck up on people because the AFC South is huff. This year they can't sneak up on anybody anymore because they know who you are. So now they're trying to figure out how to play 60 minutes of football when people know what you are. And I think we need another year before they really turn that corner. So give me Pittsburgh.
Next on the docket, you got the New Orleans Saints at the Indianapolis Colts. Over-under is 43.5. Saints 1.5-point favorites. To me, this game comes down to a few things. Number one, Gardner Minshew, okay? If he makes mistakes, his team loses. If he's playing well and he's pulling tricks out of his hat, they win. So with Gardner, he is literally the definition of a trick-or-treat quarterback. If he's good, the team is good. If he's bad, the team is bad. A couple other key factors for me. Number one, the Colts run offense. The Colts are going to try to run against any.
All right. Let me put on my SGP crown. Because this is a parlay game. I picked 3 this time. I'm not going to do all of them. That's a lot, and we want to hear these guys talk football. So my parlay 10 will pay out 180 as of how I done it. I got over for Derek Carr, 235.5 passing yards. I have over for Gardner Minshew, 220.5 passing yards. I got over 31.5 for Rashid Shaheed. He's one of Derek Carr's favorite targets. I also have over for 57.5 Chris Olave. He is the guy that moved the chains for him. And I have Gardner Minshew over 8.5 rushing yards, along with Saints and Colts going over 43.5. Reason being is because even though the Saints have everything that you possibly need to be a dominant defense, it just hasn't happened. So incorporating the human element of the game, you have to start believing what you see as opposed to investing in the potential. And right now, I believe the Saints are suspect.
Yeah. So to piggyback off of the human element aspect of it, MJ, Chris Olave, kind of something went under the radar this week. He got arrested for drunk driving, speeding, and some stuff going on there. So he's getting himself into some off-field issues. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out this week in this game. But no, Shaheed, I'm glad you shout him out. Rookie receiver for them. Has been outstanding so far, and it's not just statistically, but this is a kid that is very fast. So it kind of opens up the middle of the field for them because there's a lot of teams that are noticing his speed and having to cover for that. So that's helping out. I mean, again, Kamara had an outstanding game last week underneath as well in terms of pass catching, and he's kind of getting his feet wet again. So it should be interesting to see how they attack this Colts defense again, like Mo referred to. Gardner Minshew, man, you gotta stop. Like, you're one of the best backup quarterbacks in the league, right? You're like 33, 34 in the league. Like, you need to, calm down with the pressure throws, with the throws. It's good to take risk, but not over the top either. So look for Jonathan Taylor to get a lot more carries this week. Zach Moss is active, but he is dealing with some injuries. So I'm looking for Jonathan to play about 75% of the snaps and probably have his breakout game that we've been waiting for that ultra talented running back there. So, this is a tough game. It was a tough game for me to pick, but I guess, with everything, just as I formulate everything in my head right now, I think I'm gonna go with the Colts. But I expect this game to be a nice tight game, down the stretch. Jerm?
So for me, Gardner Minshew has never won a game. I believe that he's thrown for more than 300 yards or something like that. It is some crazy stat.
Mm.
So that means balance is the key for this guy in particular.
Right. The more he's going to turn it over.
And that's the key. So if we run the ball, we do not turn the ball over. If we do all of the small things that we need to do, we're gonna have an opportunity to win this game. This game is hard to pick because two good defenses that can turn the ball over and keep you at bay no matter where you are on the field always make for a good fight. The problem is, I trust Derek Carr more than I trust Gardner Minshew. And last week, I just want y'all all to know while I get the hiccups in the middle of the show. I want to ease up on the camera a little bit so y'all can see my face. Last week, Derek Carr showed y'all exactly who he was and who we've been saying that he was. If Derek Carr was a brand of anything, he'd be mid. He's mid. He might be below mid. He's not even mid. He's id. Because take the M off because it puts a respect. Because he needs to ID himself before he calls himself a starting quarterback with some of the throws he missed last week.
If you're putting him in the mid conversation, Germ, that means he's top 15. So
horrible.
He ain't even that.
He needs to take the M off, and he needs to ID himself before he ever says he's a good starting quarterback in this league with the throws he missed last week. He missed a game-winning throw.
He's been doing it his whole career, unfortunately.
A little to the left, a little to the right, a little past south. Man, bro, I'm over it.
All right, we done with this game?
No,
I need to pick. I need to pick.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to pick Derek Carr, so give me the Colts, man.
Yeah. See, to me, the Saints have been basically under in all of their games. And this is one of those situations where I was really tempted all week to pick the over for the first time. But the score I came up with was 23-19 Colts, which puts it at 43. And the over-under is 43 and a half. Unless it changed. Did it change?
It's at 43 and a half. You know, they ain't.
So I'm like, damn, we got to go under again. The biggest thing that I like about the Colts, what I was saying before I was interrupted, biggest thing I like about the Colts is they're going to run the ball no matter who the opponent is. They're going, well, at least they're going to try. They are going to try to run the ball no matter who the opponent is. And for the Saints, who have historically been a very good run defense, historically been a defense that can pressure the quarterback, this year both those things have regressed. So I think Indy has a prime recipe to succeed. It just comes down to execution, and it comes down to Minshew protecting the football. Those two things happen, give me the Colts by 4. Everybody made their picks for this game and whatnot? Okay, cool. Next game. Exciting game. This game, I don't know if I might pull it up on the Sunday ticket. You got the Houston Texans at the Carolina Panthers. Why the hell are you posting this on a Sunday ticket game? Because you got the future playing in this game. You got two very young, very bright quarterbacks who are facing off in this one. CJ Stroud versus Bryce Young. CJ Stroud, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception. One interception. And it's not like he's dinking and ducking and playing scared. No, he playing ball out there.
He's swinging.
9 touchdowns, 1 interception. Very impressive. Now, Bryce Young, a little different. 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. However, when you're talking about young quarterbacks who are thrown in the jungle and they got to figure it out, you got to look at the positives. What's the positives from Bryce Young? Number one, with Bryce Young, last 2 games, 4 touchdowns. So he's had 6 touchdowns all year, but he's gone 4 in the last 2. That's good, okay? Another thing to look about with Bryce Young, and I'm going to say this about a different quarterback later on in the show. He understands the concept of ball placement. He's not quite there yet, but he understands the concept of it. And I've seen throws where it's thrown with anticipation, it's thrown with confidence, and it's thrown what we call, see, a lot of teams, and I learned this from a scout that we ate a lot of his content years ago. He called, instead of calling them windows, he calls them hallways. So I like that, because really the ball is traveling. So you want it to stay in a hallway. You don't want it to be all over the place moving while it's trying to get to its destination. So I've seen him throw it down narrow hallways where it's like, oh my God, and then boom, it's landed. And unfortunately and fortunately, he's got Adam Thielen. Fortunately, because he's security blanket. Unfortunately, because there's nobody else around him stepping up. The other guys around Adam Thielen need to step up. And this is a good situation for him, because the Texans defense, they're good on the perimeter. The Texans defense are good on the perimeter, good on the run, all that. Their one weakness is covering tight ends. So I think this is a good week, fantasy alert, to get Hayden Hurst involved in the process, involved in the game plan, get him a few catches, maybe even a touchdown. All that being said, shout the expletive out to DeMeco Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
The way he has changed this culture in not half a year, and from day one.
See if they can do it. Because when I watched the tape, everyone's
is Mike Tomlin like? It's you name it. Like, this dude has stepped in there and said, this is who we are, this is who we need to be, and this is what we got to do it. And they've been doing it. Give me the Texans, baby. Vic?
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, again, you covered it very well. We got one quarterback. Again, these are the top 2 overall picks in this recent draft. We got one quarterback that's kind of ahead of schedule, probably more than expectations. But like you said, Bryce has been playing well. And my concerns with Bryce were simply just size issues. This is probably one of the smallest quarterbacks drafted first overall in years and decades, MJ. So this kid is behind a very tall offensive line in the NFL. These are big men. Okay, there's big men chasing him. Okay, there was a play against the Saints last week where the defensive end was able to just kind of get a hand on his jersey, and he was able to knock him down. So these are things that are a concern for me. But other than that, I mean, the kid has got a great arm. He's got good vision. Like Mo said, the placement is there. The instincts as a quarterback is there for this kid. So if these two kids can definitely develop into being top tier quarterbacks, it's gonna be great for the NFL in the next 10 years. But I mean, I love me some CJ Stroud. The dude has been outstanding. And I just think that they're more ahead of schedule right now than the Panthers. The Panthers obviously have some guys on the block, as we spoke about. So, give me the Texans to win this game as well. As CJ and that offense and that defense from DeMeco Ryan have been playing better than expectations.
No doubt. MJ?
All right. Still staying with the human element, but this time I'm carrying it over to the parlay. This parlay, single game, $10 pays out $300. Give me Bryce Young over 224.5 yards passing. Give me CJ Stroud over 240.5 yards passing. Give me Adam Thielen with over 67.5 yards receiving and an anytime touchdown. Give me Nico Collins over 57.5 yards receiving and an anytime touchdown. And give me the over 4-43. These young kids couldn't wait to play against each other. It's going to be a shootout, I believe. And it's going to be one of those games in which it's going to be mutual respect towards the end. I will take the Texans.
I love it. I love it. Germ?
Give me the Texans.
Okay, I got a 3-leg parlay as well in this one, MJ.
Yes, sir.
It's make sure I get it right. I took the over, and I took Dalton Schultz, the Texans tight end, as an anytime touchdown scorer. Nice. And I took Hayden Hurst, Panthers tight end, as an anytime touchdown scorer. And $10 gets you $240 off of that one. So, little simple one. The NFL has a weird way of like of things being in sync. And so if I pick like a tight end who hasn't been scoring to get in the end zone, I'm gonna pick another tight end from the other team in the same game to get in, because you just see it happen often. So, Vic sometimes you gotta pay attention to Vic, okay? Because Vic sometimes, like Germ, when Germ wants to say something, you know Germ wants to say something, right? But Vic sometimes just gotta show a little extra teeth. Pause. And you know he wants to say something. Like he just gets this little smirk. And it's like, okay, what's on your mind, Vic? Yeah.
It's funny because I got Schultz, on a couple fantasy teams and I need him to score some touchdowns. So, I'm hoping that Mo's bringing some good luck to this fantasy day for me.
All right, good. All right. Rams at Cowboys, 6.5 points, bro. This is where I hate Vegas, because I saw at one point in the week it was 5.5, then it was 6.5, then it was 5.5, then it's 6.5. So this was, I don't know if it's updated or not, but the last time I checked it was 6.5 point underdogs for the Los Angeles Rams. 45.5 points is the over-under, which is a nice, solid number. That is a 45. 45 is a tricky number, because it could be 24-20, and you're still going under. So I hate 45. 45 is always like, okay, what do you think is going to happen here, Vegas? Couple things I want to keep in mind here for this game. Okay, number one, Dallas's defense, number one in quarterback pressure. Okay, Matt Stafford, where logistically he's usually been decent. I don't even know what the stats are. Logistically, he's usually been decent against the pressure. This year, not so much. Now, I don't know if that's because he didn't have Cooper Kupp for the first major part of the year, or what exactly is the reason for that. That could be the reason for it. But something to keep an eye on, that he has not been as good when he's being pressured, and he's going up against the number one pressuring quarterback, number one team that pressures quarterbacks in the league, and it has also transferred to the Dallas defense having the lowest completion percentage for opposing quarterbacks against them. Big reason for that. Go ahead.
Number one in the interception rate.
There you go. That's another one. Big reason for that, Stephon Gilmore and the other kid, Brand, right? Is his name? Losing the real one.
Bland. Yeah, it's
Bland. Sorry. Bland. But hey, one thing, he's brought some seasoning to that secondary. And then Stephon Gilmore, he's back on his BS, as they say. Like, he's back to being that dude. It's amazing, MJ. It's amazing what being put in a competitive environment does to people. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, "Oh, he didn't do nothing over there. He was Indy, bro. He knew he wasn't going nowhere, But he came to Dallas, where the expectation is to play in February, and all of a sudden he's playing like the defensive player of the year. All of a sudden he's playing like the cornerback that Bill Belichick was willing to give the money to. Well, remember, Bill didn't give that kind of money to Revis. Bill didn't give it to Revis. He didn't give it to Ty Law. He didn't give it to Asante Samuel, probably because he dropped the pass in the 2007 Super Bowl. But he gave it to Stephon Gilmore. Hey, it's trauma that's always there. Anyways, yes. Another thing, Dallas top 10 in defense, top 10 in third down, top 10 in red zone. I mean, it's the story for me in this game is Dallas's defense, because the flip side of it is the Rams' offense is still a mystery. It's an enigma. I don't like the word mystery. I like enigma. That's a fun word to say. Enigma. They're enigma because Cooper Kupp hasn't been there, so you don't know. Are they gonna eventually become the explosive, efficient offense that we know, or are they gonna spend the whole year trying to kind of figuring it out and scrapping through certain games? Very interesting to see. Really, really good test for both teams. If you ask me, for both strong units, this is a really, really good test. Two things to keep an eye on. Both offensive tackles are questionable in this game. They should play, but nonetheless, and that's Havenstein and Tyron Smith. I'm going Dallas, man. I picked them to play in February, as most of us did. I think this is a game that they should come out coming off a bye and really show that, hey, this is a different team. The culture is right. The locker room is together. We have direction. We have leadership. Let's get to where we need to get. Give me Dallas. I'm staying away from that spread. I am, but give me Dallas.
Oh no, my SGPs are done. I only picked 3. I already said my 3.
Okay.
So anything else is just for entertainment purposes. You can make those picks if you want to, but all of those games moving forward is just like sketchy. Mm-hmm. Needless to say, with that, with the Rams, with the exception of when they won the Super Bowl, physicality has always been in question. I think Sean McVay is so good of a coach to where he is so good at maximizing what he's good at, to the point where you almost can hide the fundamental thing you need to play football and still get wins to a fault. He's still able to get 9 or 10 wins in a season without being physical, which is really unheard of. But at the end of the day, when you run into a team that's really about that action, he struggles. Dallas is physical. They like contact a lot. Parsons is trying to get to the Baja every play. He don't want to sit down. I haven't seen this type of passion since Lawrence Taylor. Passion. I ain't saying he's Lawrence Taylor. The passion of him. Mm-hmm. Even when they had him at Hard Knocks his rookie year and they made him play 2 series and he sat down and he was mad that he sat down in preseason, I knew right then and there, I'm like, oh, this dude, he cut different.
Yes. Yes.
And now you're starting to see what that means.
Yes.
For all 3 levels of their defense, they hunt, they're opportunistic, they're fast, they want to hit you, they're physical. And I'm looking at the Rams. Kyron Williams is gone. IR.
Yep.
The other running back that they have, Harrod Henderson. They don't give him the ball enough.
They don't.
Those underneath routes, if you really think that's going to work against the press of Stephen Gilmore and coming across the middle, it's only so many of those you're going to be able to do for Cooper Kupp and Nachua, I'm sorry. So, yeah, I got this actually a really close game because, unfortunately, as good as that defense is, they still ain't figured it out on offense.
Yeah.
So, and I got a lot of field goals this game. I got 19-16, and I just give it to Dallas.
That's crazy. That's crazy because that's exactly where I was going with it, MJ. Again, the Cowboys defensively, on paper and statistically have everything necessary to shut down, an offense that just came from a loss against Pittsburgh defense. But the last time the Cowboys saw an offense with a lot of horizontal routes and a lot of chasing, they got beat up by the 49ers, and you can kind of compare a McVay and Shanahan offense in terms of, a lot of drag routes, a lot of jet sweeps, a lot of things crossing the field. Now, again, we talked about Bland. I forget his first name, but this kid has
Darian
Durant.
This kid has been outstanding. I mean, he's covering for Trayvon Diggs, who the Cowboys lost for the season, unfortunately. But he's been great. But like you said, offensively, where are the Cowboys offensively? Who are they offensively? You don't have that physical presence anymore. And Ezekiel Elliott, you got, Tony Pollard, who's an outstanding running back, but he's not physical. He's not somebody that you're going to trust in short distance areas and stuff like that. So the Cowboys are still trying to find an identity. As I see, I think Dak has reached his peak. I think he's done that for a couple of years already. And it's not exactly elite. Let's just be honest with that. So
yeah,
it actually is a tougher game. You would think that the Cowboys should be able to dominate a game like this, but honestly, I'm gonna pick the Rams. As much as
wow,
I'm gonna pick the Rams to win a very, very, very tight game. It should be a fun game, though.
Okay. Listen, I think with Dak, like, it's not necessarily a bad thing that he's reached his peak, but it's not a good thing either. Because the one problem that we still see, Vic, is anticipation and accuracy as an issue.
Mhm.
And that's a problem. Like you have a hard time being confident that they're going to get to February and actually hoist the trophy with those two things, because you see it across the board from a lot of quarterbacks: anticipation and accuracy, whatever, right? Timing, all that. But the fact that for Dak, it's still a problem, and he's what, year 7?
This around the time you should turn the corner
Right.
back in the
Right.
NFL. Now year 7, things should slow down. If you're
I think he's gonna be 30 if he's not already. So
Listen, there's been 3 quarterbacks, I think, because I remember when MJ said this on the podcast about 5 years ago, and then we did some research on it. I think there was 3 quarterbacks who in year 7 won their first MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Brady might have been one of them.
Yeah.
He actually was one of them.
Yeah.
Ironically. So year 7 is that year where, like MJ said, like, I don't know if he just came up with that theory on the spot, but that theory has been proven. The hypothesis is accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Dak's. Dak turned 30 this year in July. So this is about the time where what are you gonna be? Are you gonna be elite, or are you gonna be trying to knock on that door and nobody's letting you in? You don't got the key to the lab there of the elite class. So again,
and just to answer most questions, the reason why year 7 came about is because what age would a person usually be? 29, 30. When you become the age of 29 and 30, usually you're at your most balanced. You're at your peak physically, but then you're also touched into your peak mentally. And,
Right.
you start to, want to simplify the things that you do. As you get older, the mental and the wisdom increases, but the physicality decreases.
Starts to go down, yeah.
So you're at your peak between about 28 and 30. After 30, you're working your ass off to keep your physical peak. You have to put a lot of work in to keep your physical peak. It's just a lot of work. It's a struggle.
I mean, look how time went. Less weights, more body weight, more stretching, more flexibility.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can't just wake up and play anymore like when you're younger. But when you're younger, you're stupid. So it's like, so that's why I said that little gap, that 3-year gap, that's when you start to see who a person really is for real. Because even if they get wiser, the physicality of them is going to diminish just a tad.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Listen, I mean, this game was, like I said, this game was rough because, Micah and DeMarcus Lawrence should be able to give this offensive line, especially with Havenstein kind of playing with injuries, they should be able to give this offensive line a headache. Give Matthew Stafford a headache. But it's like, what are the Cowboys doing offensively? Are they going to be a team that you want to get 25 points or more to be considered an elite offense? So if this game is close, why wouldn't the Rams have a chance, even with dealing with that pass rush? So like a 19-16 game sounds like a very good possibility with this game for some reason. Like, just feels that way.
Also, I think the defense might score more points than the offense on both teams.
There you go.
I think the one thing that we have seen, though, fellas, to Vic's point, is red zone scoring is down in the NFL. And to me, that is one of the biggest indicators that the level of quarterback play is not what it needs to be at yet. And that's fine, because you have a lot of young guys playing quarterback right now. The position, what's funny?
You gonna have me cooking again, Mo. Keep going.
R.I.P. Kobe. When he came into the league, he was like, yo, when I came into the league, everybody was like older. But by the time he was exiting the league was so young. Something similar that we're seeing here in the NFL, like Brady, Manning, Breeze, they're gone. The position now is so young. Go ahead, MJ.
All right. It's funny because this is the correlation with basketball and football that I always love. I love when the things cross over.
Yes.
So it could very well be that the reason why red zone opportunities are down is because the bend don't break defense, in which you just go zone and you pack everything in, forces quarterbacks who do not have the fundamentals to be able to see what's going on in front of them and throw those those throws that you have to anticipate. They're unable to do it, which means you give these defenses an opportunity to get deflections, even picks. That's what's happening. Let's look at basketball. Zones. Most young dudes who are athletic and jump out the gym, they can't pick apart a zone. Because in order to pick apart a zone, you have to know basketball. As a quarterback, in order to pick apart a zone, you have to know football. You have to know when to audible to a check down. You have to know when to audible to a draw play or a screen. Mm-hmm. You have to have complete command over your offensive line to know when this guy is doing this or this guy doing that. So maybe, we can audible and check into, a pick play or, a throw down the seams, which how many quarterbacks can throw in the red zone an 18-yard seam down the middle to pick apart that cover 2, cover 3? Not many. Not many. And how many tight ends is going to catch the shit? About 5?
I mean, there's nothing but facts that you're saying, because again, like, the red zone is where you got to become more creative. The red zone becomes where the field becomes so much more condensed that as an offense, you have to maximize the space. And what I mean by maximize the space is that seam route. Like, okay, in the middle, when you run in the seam route in 2020, between the 20-yard line to their 20-yard line, you got a wider haul, right? But when you in the red zone, you only have certain spots, and the spots are like this. And so you got to be able to hit it. And not only hit it, you got to be able to anticipate it. So one of my biggest problems with Lamar is that I don't see anticipation out of his throws. I actually see more anticipatory throws. It is a hard word to say, MJ. It really is.
That's why I stopped.
Yeah. I see more of them from Josh Allen. And I'm there's nobody more critical than me from the three of us than Josh Allen. But I see more anticipation throws. I'm going to just say that. That's easier than Lamar Jackson. And I think as a whole, it becomes a half. What is the limitations of my quarterback, and what is the creativity of my offensive coordinator? And there's, unfortunately, a lot of teams are below par in both of those categories. Mm-hmm. So, all right, that's a great segment. That really was.
Yeah, I hated to.
No, that was great. We're gonna call an audible, and we're gonna adjust. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more games. Really, for me, one of them is heavyweight. The other one is something I want to talk about. So we're gonna go a little bit rapid fire here for the rest of these games, with the exception of 49ers Bengals.
Okay, let's go.
Hopefully Jerm is back by then. Okay. Next game, you got the Tennessee Titans hosting the Atlanta Falcons. No Ryan Tannehill in this game, Vic. So Will Levi and Malik Willis are the game plan today. I actually think it makes things a little more interesting that they're going into this game with two quarterbacks. From a fantasy perspective, from a betting perspective, I am staying all the way away from this game. From a football fan perspective, from a lab perspective, I'm actually quite interested to see what happens in this game for all three quarterbacks that are involved. Give me the Falcons by 3. Vic?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go Falcons as well. Again, I just think this is a team that's more, developed than the Titans in terms of everybody seems to be playing well together right now. Again, Tannehill, too inconsistent. Running game has been too inconsistent. So, and then now you got two quarterbacks. You don't even know who you want to start. So just give me the Falcons just for the simple fact that they've been a little bit more consistent this year playing together.
Quarterback change means more Derrick Henry. More Derrick Henry usually means Tennessee wins. Give
Yep.
me the
I like
Tajay
it.
Sharp. Tajay Sharp if you're in a 16-man league.
Jets at Giants, baby. I was trying to think of an Empire State of Mind lyric to come up with, but if they were playing better, maybe I'll give it to them. Jets coming off a bye. Giants coming off a decent win against the Commanders, coming off a competitive game against the Bills. I can't believe I'm about to say this. I think for the Giants, you just tell Daniel Jones, hey, man, no need to rush back. Just keep going with Tyrod Taylor. I'm actually going to take the Giants to win this game. Give me the Giants by 6. Not by 6. That's a lot. Give me the Giants. Just give me the Giants. I think the Giants are going to win this game. Vic?
Well, I mean, I'm going with the Jets. I like a good Breece Hall game today. I think even Wilson and Garrett Wilson have a good game today. And that Jets defense against the Giants, even though Tyrod Taylor is a little bit more intriguing than Daniel Jones in terms of the way he's playing. But give me the Jets defense for any fantasy owners out there that needs a defense. I think the Jets do well this week.
human element. The Giants locker room now has somebody that they believe in.
Mm-hmm.
The defense was always good, but when you're on the field 75% of the time, it's not going to look like you're good. Give me the Giants for that reason. I think that locker room believes in Tyrod Taylor. And we already know how San Diego did Tyrod Taylor. It was unfair. I get Justin Herbert is a very good quarterback, but they treated that man wrong. And to see this man get redemption, sign me up.
Absolute truth, which is why when we talk about the Chargers later, keep the name Tyrod Taylor in mind. Okay, next on the docket, you got the New England Patriots going down to Miami. New England coming off a big win. Miami coming off a disappointing loss. There's a lot I want to say about Miami, but this week ain't the week to say it. Let's see how they play today. But there's a lot of things that I'm noticing about Miami that long term down the road is extremely, extremely concerning. Jalen Ramsey is making his debut. Waddle and Hill are coming in hobbled, but at least they get Jalen Ramsey back. Raheem Mostert, definitely the key factor in this one. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a competitive game. But I do think Miami is going to win this game. Give me Miami 26-19. Vic?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with Miami as well, even though the Patriots played a great game last week. They just seem to struggle in Miami, even when Tom was around. So, I mean, this is a better Dolphins team as well. So I expect the Dolphins, a well-coached team, to get back on their feet and have a good game. Give me the Dolphins.
I like it.
What's dope? You know what's dope about getting a small quarterback? They have no choice but to throw anticipatory throws.
That's fair. That's fair.
They don't have a choice. You got Tua, and you got a creative offensive coordinator. As we was talking about red zone and the struggles, everything that we said is the opposite of Miami, which is why they're putting up so many points.
Yeah.
Give me Miami. Because they get 7s as opposed to 3s, and Patriots get 3s as opposed to 7s. And
if they,
I'm not the best math person in the world, but it usually 7 is more than 3. I know that in every world that I've ever lived.
Oh my God, yo. Germ.
Yes.
We're going rapid fire right now. We got Dolphins at Patriots, or Patriots at Dolphins. Sorry.
Give me the Dolphins.
Okay. Next on the docket, you got the Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers. Y'all got to forgive me because somehow I did not get the injury report from this game. I don't know how I missed that. So is Justin Jefferson playing or is he on IR?
I think he's on IR, yeah.
Okay.
The Vikings
Vikings been playing well. I get it. And we say it every year. Kirk Cousins does just enough. They're going to end up being the biggest teams in football, yada, yada, yada. Aaron Jones is back. He's healthy. I'm actually going to go with the Green. He didn't have a game designation this week.
Yeah, he's playing this week.
So that tells me he's 100% good to go. I think Green Bay needs to run the ball a little more because Minnesota doesn't run the ball at all. So if you get in a situation where Minnesota has to kind of play 60 minutes, I think that bodes more well for Green Bay, believe it or not. So give me the Packers by a field goal. I'm gonna go to Packers over under is 41.5. I'm gonna go 24-21 Packers. Jerm?
Give me the Packers because I picked them to win a division. I got to stick by their side.
Okay. I ain't mad at it. Vic?
I'll take the Vikings just because they're playing well and they're consistent through the middle of the season and they fall off at the end. So we're in the middle of the season right now. Give me the Vikings to win this game. I just think Jordan Love has a little bit more work to do.
Understood. MJ?
Shouts out to this show because y'all told me Aaron Jones was healthy and he was safely on my bench in which I put him now and for born. So thank you for that. So now I have a vested interest in seeing Green Bay win. But it's not going to be because of the quarterback play. It's going to be for the running backs because Aaron Jones has always been that factor on their offense that is hard to account for. Now that he's fully healthy, because, hamstrings are tricky. If you're taking away his speed, it's like it negates everything that makes him special.
Yes.
Out of keeping and rushing. So if he's healthy, give me Green Bay.
All right. Next on the Jeremy, you picked Green Bay, right? Yeah, because you want the division. That's right. Browns at Seahawks. Over-under is 37.5. The Browns are 3.5 road underdogs. I'm gonna be honest with you. No Deshaun or not, I was half tempted to pick Cleveland just because of that defense. And I mean, listen, one way or another, people make an argument they shouldn't have won last week, but they did win, so that's irrelevant. I'm still gonna go with Seattle. I think Seattle without Deshaun, I hate saying that because I love this defense, but Seattle without Deshaun has a little bit more of an advantage. Geno, believe it or not, is playing decent enough. We thought maybe it was a one-hit wonder type situation with him. No, he's actually playing pretty decent football. I'm gonna keep it simple due to time constrictions. Give me Seattle. Give me Seattle by 4. MJ?
Give me Seattle, and it goes back to what we just talked about quarterbacks again. Pete Carroll is pretty creative, if you take away the whole debacle in the Super Bowl, if you could forgive him for that. He's able to get you. I know you don't forgive him. You love him. but yeah, he's able to, put you in situations in which you can get in the end zone. So I'm still going to go. I'm going to go Seattle. Mm-hmm. I don't like it, though.
And Vic?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Browns. Just because it's just one of those things where I want to see them keep winning. So I'm going with the Browns. It's going to be a tight game, though.
Yeah, stay away from this bet game. And that's why I'm going with Seattle, too, because I said Browns are going to get in the Super Bowl. So I'm just hoping that I can give a reverse, jinx to get them to win and stay okay until Deshaun come back. If he come back. Hopefully he come back.
John?
Browns.
Okay. Next on the docket, you got the Cincinnati Bengals at the San Francisco 49ers. Again, we're running short on time, so we're just going to do rapid fire the rest of the show. Over-under is 43.5, 5.5 points for the Bengals. This, to me, is going to be a heavyweight clash, right? And it's going to depend on 3 things. 3 things. Number 1 is going to depend on Brock Purdy. Can he be that guy that we've seen him to be? Okay? Number 2, in my humble opinion, the 49ers' best defensive player this week needs to be Christian McCaffrey, okay? Because he needs to control the clock, he needs to control the pace, and he needs to keep Joe Burrow on the sidelines. Why? Because Joe Burrow over the last 2 weeks has looked like the Joe Burrow that we know and that we love. He started off with that calf injury, but he's looking healthy, okay? Biggest thing I'm looking at, right, is the efficiency of the Bengals offense this week is going to be from those quick throws. Okay. And Joe Burrow gets the ball out quicker, I think third quickest in the league. So that's going to help them. So how effective they can be and how successful they can be with those quick throws, quick outs, things along the perimeter in general, but just really the quick throws. But you got to find chunk plays against San Francisco. Okay, San Francisco is too good of a defense where you're just going to have to think, okay, I can do death by 1,000 cuts. No, you got to throw some jab and some hooks in there. And to me, in order for the Cincinnati to get some chunk plays, Vic, I think they're going to have to move the pocket at the right time in the right situations and find those chunk plays deep down the field with Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd particularly. I'm going with the Bengals. I'm confident in this. I'm going with Cincy. I expected them to start this year slow, but I also expected them to kick it into that fifth gear as they get into as the season starts to sort of, warm up and heat up, even though it gets colder. And San Francisco, you got to do right by Sam Darnold. Give me Cincy. Vic?
Yeah, I mean, I got the Bengals in this game as well, as hard as it is for this pick. But I mean, they need to go 4-3 as opposed to 3-4. You know what I mean? Because this division race is gonna get, if the Ravens continue to dominate this division, I mean, they're a 5-2 team right now. I think that the Bengals are just gonna fall off if they can't win this game. I think it's a big game for them. So, give me the Bengals in this game. I think that, like you said, Joe Burrow just looks a lot more healthier. And then you got a Brock Purdy situation where he's coming off of a concussion. So it's going to be interesting to see how both quarterbacks handle today's game. But I'll take Joe Burrow today in the Bengals.
I love it. MJ?
I'm really looking at T. Higgins this game. He's the one that, has the height and the ability to be able to, go up and get it. I mean, obviously, my man's always open, can do it as well. But I think San Francisco is definitely going to have a lot of attention on him. So T. Higgins is why you want, him to have that game, because that's the balance. If T. Higgins gets to cooking, now you got to worry about him. And then you got to go back to Jamar Chase. And I think that's just what gives Joe Burrow that balanced breakfast, which is the reason why they drafted 2 receivers for him in the first place. But we need to see T. Higgins have a good game. If he has a good game, I think Cincinnati wins. If he does not, I think 49ers win. So I'm going to bet on T. Higgins to have a good game, so I'll say Cincinnati.
I love it. Germ?
Yes, sir.
Bengals
49ers, brother.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay. I want to say 2 things about this game real fast.
Yeah, hey, do you think?
I do not know, number one, who to pick, because I don't know what team or who's who is going to show up.
Fair.
So when I hear that they're like, who they for the Bengals? Yeah, who they today? Are they the team that's going to play well on all phases, play solid football, make the most of what they have, or are we going to get something worse? And then for the 49ers, listen, the loss to Cleveland was a loss to Cleveland, right? You scored 17 points in a game in which, Brock, got into a game in which he was simply just fighting against the elements too, earth, wind, and fire, And they hit him with a September, But the issue that I have altogether with the 49ers is, it's not that we're not running the ball. It's not that we're not doing the things that matter. Defensively, you need secondary players in order to win. You don't have very many in Frisco. Y'all need to be active during this trade deadline. That being said, who needs the game more? Cincinnati. Who should get the game is the 49ers.
Okay. I don't know, man. Again, I think Cincy should go out and win this game. They just should. Like, They have everything they need to win this game. And again, I'm gonna go back to it. I think it's gonna be so. It's gonna be something for the league to take note of. If Cincinnati can get create, first of all, they got to stay on time. When I say on time, I mean with their offense. You know, as I think it's going to be something for the entire league, especially the AFC, to keep an eye on. If Cincinnati can find chunk plays and consistently and creatively, like I said, move that pocket and tire out this defense, dare I say there's a chance that Cincinnati could blow this game open. But it's going to come down to execution. Baltimore and Arizona, no Kyler Murray. Not that it would matter. Give me Baltimore. 9.5 points. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm definitely taking over 44.5. I would like to think. Actually, I don't know. Give me Baltimore. I'm staying away, but give me Baltimore. MJ?
Baltimore. I'm not going.
Yeah. Jerm?
Baltimore.
Vic?
Yeah, I mean, you got Baltimore going 6-2 this week, so the rest of the division got to keep
up. Chiefs at Broncos, same thing, man. Nick Bolton, I know he's out in this game for the Chiefs, but yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason why. Chiefs, MJ.
Yeah, I already told y'all at the beginning. So Chiefs.
Yeah. Give me Rashee Rice to have a great game. Look out for that. So again, fantasy purposes, Rashee Rice. Look out for that kid.
Okay. Last game on the docket, you got the Chicago Bears at the Los Angeles Chargers. I know a lot of people are scoffing at this game. Believe it or not, I am excited for this game. Okay, and I'm excited for two reasons. Reason number one, both quarterbacks. That's reason number 1 and 2. So with Justin Herbert, I'm gonna just keep it real, Vic. He's been disappointed to me. For Tyson, listen, he played well last week. Like, here's what I saw. Quick scouting report, okay? I think number 1, again, he understands the concept of ball placement. Understands the concept of ball placement. Number 2, he's good at making those tight window throws, man. Number 3, good at throwing the ball on the move. Like he was on the move a few times. He threw it with accuracy. He threw it with power. He threw it with velocity. I was relatively impressed. He's got confidence and he can see the field. Why I say relatively impressed, none of his passes traveled over 10 yards. He did not attack the second or third level of the defense once. Okay? So 2 things are going to happen tonight. Either the Chargers are going to make him do that and he's going to fail, or the Chargers, who are the worst defense in the second and third level in the league, passing-wise, are going to be like, all right, man, this kid is about to be a superstar. Second thing I'm going to say about the Bears offense, that run game can be an absolute strength. That run game can cripple their opponent's offensive game plans if they just stick with it. Deontay Foreman, he reminds me of 2 people, okay? 1 being Le'Veon Bell, but 2, and the one that he really reminds me of is Todd Gurley. Doesn't run the lowest, but he runs strong. He runs hard. He understands pad level. He's got a good change of pace. He's got good patience. He's got a good explosion. I was really studying the Bears this weekend, Jay, okay? There is a lot of good things that I see from the Bears, dare I say. But maybe this is the problem with the Chicago Bears, is that they reel you in just to tear you apart. Give me the Bears. I can't believe I'm going with it. Give me the Bears with a major, major upset. MJ.
All right. Just like men and women in Chicago, the fandom shows all the time and how they act with their team. Y'all always like the someone on the side. Y'all love the side piece more than y'all love the main. And that's the problem. And then y'all put the side piece as the main, and you realize that as the main, it wasn't no better than the other main that you had. I'm sick of it. So I need for you guys to not invest into this side piece, because this is what the Bears do. The Bears look around and they be like, well, we got this dude, so we got to play our ass off because if we don't, we ain't gonna win. So they play with more urgency. When they play with somebody good, they have no urgency. That's the thing. So it's not the person on the bench that good or the savior. It's just that everybody's playing harder around him because they know he's not good. Stop falling for it. Not for you, Mo, for everybody else. So, with that being said,
that's so much stuff, man.
It is the return of the Mac. This is a human game. He epitomized what a linebacker is in the Bears, and y'all trade him? Oh, he is about to welcome that boy to the NFL.
Yeah.
It's about to get ugly. He's not going to have time to throw it. So we ain't going to even know if he can throw second or third level. He ain't going to have time.
See, I was looking forward to joining Mo and making this a big Bears segment.
No.
And picking them for this upset, but then here you come and bring this Khalil Mack name, one of those guys that decide to show up whenever he wants to destroy the teams that he wants to destroy. Okay. So, I mean, listen, man.
You'll make it personal.
Listen, the Bears have been playing better though, MJ. They've been a better team, even with Justin Fields out. They've been a better team, especially with that running game. 3 good running backs. You got Rashawn Johnson coming back today. Khalil is out, but Deontay Foreman, one of those very underrated, underappreciated running backs in the league right now.
Let me just,
DJ Moore.
And that's what pisses me off right there. They're running the ball more. They're playing better defense. Why didn't they do this with Justin Fields?
Right.
That's why I get pissed off. Y'all can just do this with Justin Fields and be a good football team.
Right.
But instead, y'all make this man make 50 decisions and he's not capable. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I just got mad. I'm sick of it.
It's a fair argument because you see this talent and you want the talent to be shown to the world, but you got to still develop that talent. You still got to help him reach his peak. This is a young kid still. We talked about it. Quarterbacks don't reach their potential, their highest mental potential until they're 30. So let's work on that. You know what I mean? So you're right. You make a fair argument. So where is it in Los Angeles, this game?
Mm-hmm. It is.
I'll pick the Chargers, man. I'll pick the Chargers by a little bit. God. Oh my God.
all this weather calculation and predicting the future for the Chargers just to win. That's the sad part.
Seriously though.
GG's, everybody. GG's.
All right, y'all. Enjoy the games. Games are starting. 2-2. We out, baby. Somebody take us home.
22.
Tyson Fury lost.